A very good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you all are doing well and also that you are keeping up with your syllabus and all the assessments that are associated with CIN603. Now, for today's class and for this week, okay, we will be concentrating on the following things, okay? So you will have, as for pending assessments, I don't think you have much of pending assessments. So just in case if you are still left to attempt your lecture-based quizzes, please do so. Otherwise, most of you are quite up to date with your syllabus and for assessments for CIN603, for which I'm very happy about. Now, also we will have a revision class. Now, this particular class, our lecture class, will be treated as a revision class. Apart from that, the tutorial class that we were supposed to have it on Thursday morning, it's cancelled. Okay, so all your tutorial class, I think also for your other CIN units, most of the classes has been cancelled so the students can concentrate on their mid-semester exams. So which I also wish to do. However, I want to have a revision session run whereby I can give you some sample questions. And with the use of those questions, what you can do is you can have yourself well prepared for the exam. And you're also supposed to attempt your mid-semester exam. So your mid-semester exam, if it go to week 7, it says this week's lecture and lab classes will be used for the revision classes for mid-semester. I'll have to remove lab from here. Okay, mid-semester exam is available in my assessment section of the Moodle shell. Click here to attempt your mid-semester exam. So if you click on the word here, so this is your mid-semester exam layout. So the exam has already been opened up yesterday at 6 a.m. in the morning, and it closes off on the 12th of September at 11:59 p.m. Okay, and it consists of the following. So you have 20 marks of multiple choice questions, 20 marks of short answer questions, and 10 marks of object modeling, to be specific, on PERT charts. Okay, I'm not testing you on Gantt chart, only on PERT charts. Now, in total, you have 90 minutes, 1 hour 30 minutes to attempt this, and with a total of 50 marks. Now, generally, when we test you out of 100, we give you 3 hours. Over here, 50 marks, 90 minutes. So the time is well sufficient. And moreover, please note that the mid-semester exam only has 1 attempt. So if you attempt it once, you will not be allowed to go and redo things. Please ensure that you prepare yourself well and use time adequately for each and every question, and all the very best. Now, please also note, I think yesterday or day before yesterday, I had someone asking me whether these sections, multiple choice short answer questions and object modeling, would be in different segments or sections. For CIN603, no, they are all in one. So you'll have to attempt the entire thing all at once. 20 multiple choice questions, 20 marks of short answer questions, and 10 marks of object modeling questions. So you will have to attempt all at once, no segments provided. That means once you actually think of, okay, I will go and attempt my mid-semester exam, you should be well prepared to attempt the entire thing. Just like you have your physical exams, very much similar, but over here, you're doing it online. Yeah. So any questions on mid-semester exam before we proceed? Any questions on mid-semester exam before we proceed? No questions? Excuse me. Now do note that next week is mid-semester break. Okay, so whatever you need to do, try to get it done by this week Sunday. Mid-semester break, you can take a week break or spend some time, probably an hour or two, to actually work on your major project. So if you look at your assessments, your weekly quizzes, they are well covered. Your mid-semester exam, you have a short test which will be coming up in week 10. That means straight after you come in 2 weeks later, okay, or within the second week after you come in from the break, you will have a short test. And you have your project which carries 10% towards your coursework. So those are the assessments guideline, and week 14 is whereby you will actually have a study break. In week 15, you'll begin with your final examination. Okay, final examination currently is supposed to be in online mode. Depending on how the situation is, you'll notice that the cases on COVID-19 is going down. So if the university decides to conduct a final exam in terms of face-to-face, so that will be at it is. But at the moment, we are going online with the exams. All right. Now, without much delay, let's go and focus on the revision question. So what I will do is I will dictate some questions, simple questions, write down the questions, and later onwards use these questions and answer them to act as a revision guide. So we will cover all the way from lecture 1 till lecture 6. So important questions only. The unnecessary things we'll try to omit it. All right. Hope you're ready. So let's go. First of all, define IT. First question, define IT. Second question, explain system analysis and design. Question number 2, explain system analysis and design. Next question, who are systems analysts? Next question, who are systems analysts? Next question, how are information systems developed? How are information systems developed? Now over here, what you have to talk about is generally the different ways in which information systems are developed. For example, in-house packages, you have internet-based application services, outsourcing, and so forth. Next question. Explain mission critical systems. Explain mission critical systems. Next question. Differentiate between data and information. Differentiate between data and information. Next question. Define information systems and its components. Define information system, or in short form, you can write down IS, and its components. Next question. Differentiate between horizontal and vertical systems. Pardon me. Differentiate between horizontal, vertical, and legacy systems. Include legacy systems there as well. Differentiate between horizontal, vertical, and legacy systems. Next question. Explain BPM. Explain B, P for parrot, M. Next question. Define EDI. Define EDI, electronic data interchange. By the way, all these questions which I am calling out at the moment, you may find these in lecture 1. Okay, so let's ease up a bit. So far, all the questions are from lecture 1. Define EDI. Next question. Differentiate between e-commerce. Differentiate between e-commerce, comma B2B, comma B2B, business to business, and B2C, business to consumer, commerce. Full stop. Differentiate between e-commerce, B2B, and B2C commerce. Next question. Explain enterprise computing systems. Explain enterprise computing systems. Stop. Next question. Describe business support systems. Describe business support systems. Next question. Describe knowledge management systems. Describe knowledge management systems. Next question. Explain the term prototype. Explain the term prototype. Next question. What is SDLC model? What is SDLC model? And describe its 5 steps. What is SDLC model and describe its 5 steps. Full stop. Next question. Explain agile method of system development. Explain agile method of system development. So how many questions in total? Janesh, how many questions in total?
17.
17 questions? Okay, so those are the 17 revision questions that covers up the entire of your lecture 1. All right. So next up, we'll hop into lecture 2 and see how many questions we are able to derive from there. So the very first question of your lecture 2 is define business case. Define business case. Next question. What is the purpose of SWOT analysis? What is the purpose of SWOT, SWOT, SWOT analysis? Full stop. Sorry, this is a question mark. Next question. Explain 6 reasons for systems project. Explain 6 reasons for a systems project. Next question. What are some internal and external factors? What are some internal and external factors that affect systems project? What are some internal and external factors that affect systems project? Next question. Explain systems review committee. Explain systems review committee. Next question. What is a feasibility study? What is a feasibility study? And explain at least 4 types of feasibility studies. What is a feasibility study? And explain at least 4 types of feasibility studies. Next question. Differentiate between tangible and intangible benefits. Differentiate between tangible and intangible benefits. Next question. Differentiate between project scope. Differentiate between project scope, project creep and constraints. Differentiate between project scope, project creep, and constraints. Next question. List and describe some fact-finding techniques. List and describe some fact-finding techniques. Next question. Define strategic planning. Define strategic planning. Avi, how many questions there for lecture 2? Avi,
10
you are,
questions.
sorry, how many questions, Avi? Sorry, Javi, I didn't get you. How many questions in total?
10 questions, sir.
10 questions. Okay, thank you. So these are the 10 revision questions that covers up your lecture 2. Okay, let's move on to lecture 3. Define project management. Lecture 3, first question, define project management. Next question. What are some tasks that project managers undertake? What are some tasks that project managers undertake? Next question. Describe WBS. Describe WBS. Next question. Explain the final outcome of a PERT chart. Explain the final outcome of a PERT chart. Define milestone. Define milestone. Next question. Differentiate between dependent tasks. Differentiate between dependent tasks, comma, successor tasks, comma, successor, successor, successor tasks, and predecessor tasks, predecessor, predecessor tasks. Differentiate between dependent tasks, successor tasks, and predecessor tasks. Next question. Explain the term critical path. Explain the term critical path. Next question. List and describe the steps in risk management. List and describe the steps in risk management. Okay, so these were the questions for lecture 3. Junia, would you be able to count how many questions were there in total? 8 questions. Thank you, Junia. So 8 questions in total for lecture 3. So let's move on to lecture 4. First question. Differentiate between JED, RED, and agile methods. Differentiate between JED, RED, and agile methods. Next question. List down advantages and disadvantages of JED. List down advantages and disadvantages of JED. Next question. List down advantages and disadvantages of RED. RED, R-A-D. List down advantages and disadvantages of RED. Next question. List down advantages and disadvantages of agile method. List down advantages and disadvantages of agile methods. Next question. Explain data flow diagrams. Explain data flow diagrams. Next question. Explain use case diagrams. Explain use case diagrams. Next question. Define the term scalability. Define the term scalability. 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 Next question. Define TCO. Define TCO, total cost of ownership. Next question. Differentiate between open-ended and close-ended questions. Differentiate between open-ended and close-ended questions. Next question. Differentiate between systematic sample, comma, differentiate between systematic sample, comma, stratified sample, comma, stratified, STRATIFIED, stratified sample, and random sample. Differentiate between systematic sample, comma, stratified sample, and random sample. Monish, how many questions in total?
10, sir.
10 questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So these are your 10 questions for lecture 4. Now lecture 5 and lecture 6 were quite small, so we'll also go and write down the questions for those. So lecture 5. First question, defined event-driven modeling. Define event-driven modeling. Question number 1. Next question. Define state transition diagrams. Define state, STATE, transition, TRANSITION, diagrams. Next question. Explain the purpose of using case tools. Capital A, capital C, capital A, capital S, capital E. Explain the purpose of using case tools. Next up, explain object modeling. Explain object modeling. And the final question is describe UML, Unified Modeling Language. Describe UML. How many questions in total, Musharraf?
5.
5 questions. Okay, so those are the questions for lecture 5. Like I mentioned, it was a short lecture, and very much similar is lecture 6 as well. First question, define term class in relation to object modeling. Define the term class in relation to object modeling. Explain the term relationships in relation to object modeling. Explain the term relationships in relation to object modeling. Next question, describe activity diagrams. Describe activity diagrams. Define the term, next question, define the term objects in relation to object modeling. Define the term objects in relation to object modeling. Now there are some more questions that I have for lecture 6 example on UML, but those will be just a repetition of what we have already called out in the previous lectures. So if I'm not wrong, these were a total of 3 questions, Sammy? 3 questions for lecture 6? 3 or 4? 4 questions, okay. So 4 questions for lecture 6. And those are the revision questions that I have for your lecture notes. Now, Other things that you should be revising apart from the questions that I've given you is your tutorial questions. Okay, from tutorial questions from week 1 all the way till week 5, no, week 6. Okay, do go over them, and also please go and preview your lecture-based quizzes. Now, the only way in which you can preview is if you have attempted your lecture-based quiz. If you have not attempted it, you cannot preview. When I say preview, so the preview options that come up with the lecture quiz is the questions, what was the answer that you're given in, whether your answer was correct or incorrect. So just in case if your answer is incorrect, you would be provided with the correct answers. Okay, so that's on previewing. So the questions that I've given you from lecture 1 to lecture 6, tutorial questions, lecture-based quiz. That's it. And please do take some time out to read over the notes as well. Now, you have close to about 7 days left still to attempt your mid-semester exam. Now, when you attempt your mid-semester exam, please do not leave it for Saturday, or not Saturday, but Sunday evening. Okay, just one more thing. Sunday. Hold on. Give me a second, people. Okay, now please do note that there's a planned Moodle outage from the 10th till the 12th, which is from Friday till the Sunday. Okay, so here's what I will do. I will extend your mid-semester exam till the next Monday evening. Okay, let me just do it straight away so that you are with me, and I also running in line because Moodle, there's a planned outage from Friday till Sunday. Now it will still work, Moodle will still work, but it will be very, very slow. So let's not put you at a disadvantaged point. Okay, let me quickly go and extend the date for this. Okay, so Sunday is the 12th. Let's put it on the 13th. Okay, so now your mid-semester exam will actually finish up or close on the 13th of September. I have to edit this as well. Give me a second, people. Give me a second. All set. So is that fine, everyone? So based on the message that was received from ICT this morning at 8:49 a.m. By the way, you also get all these messages. Now, where do you get this message? It will be coming up in your student email. So you need your student username and the password, login, and these things are also coming into you. For example, any message that I sent on Moodle, okay, on announcement, these messages, they also end up in your student email. So what you can do is, if you have internet connectivity, which I know many of you do, and if you have a smartphone, which I also know all of you do, what you can do is get an email app installed from Google Play Store. From there, just go and configure your email into that app, and then you'll be receiving all these emails. Okay, so advantage point with this is when you configure the mobile phones, let's say if I cancel the class, let's say 30 minutes just before the class begins, you'll get a message or you get the email in that email app. Do try it out. Okay, so that's your new date for the mid-semester exam. So please ensure that you are able to attempt this on time. Now also do note this. Do not go and attempt the quiz just an hour or two before the closing date. That means do not go and attempt it, let's say at around 10 p.m. in the evening on the 13th of September. What will happen is this: if there's a lot of traffic, Moodle would be slow. And Moodle would be, and just in case if Moodle is slow, you will not be able to actually attempt your quiz on time, and there would be a lot of network issues. Also note this, I don't know if you've realized this or not, but from 6:30 all the way till about 11 or 12 p.m., your internet connection is very slow as well. Now, when you're using Moodle, generally you do not need data. You do not need mobile data or internet data to access Moodle. It's free. However, the speed is dependent on the speed provided by the internet service provider. If you're using Vodafone, Digital, or Inc., all of it goes slow from about 6:30 all the way down to 12 p.m. Okay, 12 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so please ensure you try to attempt it somewhere on Monday, midday, morning, midday, till about before 5. So you are on the safe side. Now you have ample time. Take about at least 1 to 1.5 hours daily to work on CIN603, and you should be able to revise and do well. All right. Any questions, any queries, anyone? This is the time because we won't have any other classes for the rest of the week. Any questions, any queries? And also, I don't know if you're having any classes tomorrow on in your other courses or not, because tomorrow is public holiday. Okay, so it depends totally on your lecturer whether they will be conducting the classes or not, but public holiday means no class. Okay, questions, anyone? If no questions, this is where we'll knock off the class for today. So I wish you all the very best for your upcoming mid-semester exam. Okay, and if you have any further questions or queries, feel free to drop me a message on Moodle, or you can always send me an email without hesitation. So till then, take care everyone, stay safe, and all the very best. See you in our class after the break now. Next week is mid-semester break. So following week, Monday, 12 to 2 p.m. That's where I'll see you then. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Same to you. Thank you, Monesh.